We are tracking the tropics tonight in a system that continues to develop. We're now looking at a tropical depression. What does this mean for us, Blake?
Well, it means that we've got heavy rain on the way as we get into the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday look like washout days across the area, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We could use a little bit of rain, but we don't need too much of a good thing. So we'll be watching this carefully. We know what kind of peril tropical storms can cause this stretch of coastline. Now, I'm not expecting a big event here across the upper Texas coast, but certainly several inches of rain will be a possibility as it works its way towards the Texas coast. Also, some gusty winds right at the coast will be a possibility. So here's the very latest on tropical depression number 8. 30-mile-an-hour winds with this west-northwest movement at 6. That pressure down to 1,009 millibars. Here's the cone from the Hurricane Center again, just coming out as of 10 o'clock. You'll notice Houston is on the north side of the cone, but we are expecting landfall very close to Port Aransas here on the central Texas coast with about 45-mile-an-hour winds. So again, this is not expected to be a big wind event. This is not anticipated to become a hurricane, but it is expected to move inland between Houston and Corpus Christi, giving us copious amounts of rain. The computer models are in pretty good agreement with this. Spaghetti models, you can see, are pretty tightly packed there. And we also have a tropical storm watch in effect for the most of the Texas coastline. This does include Chambers County, southern Liberty County, southeast Harris County, Galveston, Brazoria, and Matagorda counties. It also includes Wharton County as well. So those of you along the immediate coast, this is where we can expect some gusty winds, 25, 30, maybe a little bit higher than that. But if there's any wind with this, it'll be down towards the landfall area north of Corpus Christi. So there it is right there. It's a very small system, but nonetheless organizing pretty quickly. And speaking of organizing pretty quickly, we're monitoring yet another storm likely to become our first hurricane of the 2020 season. This is Tropical Storm Gonzalo. Winds now up to 60 miles an hour, moving to the west at 12. That pressure down to 998 millibars. So here are the two systems. You've got one out there in the Gulf of Mexico. You've got another one out here in the central Atlantic, what we call the MDR, the main development region. And we do have a hurricane watch in effect now for Barbados. So there you go, a tightly wound system becoming more organized by the minute. And you see that little pink dot out there, that's Barbados, that's the hurricane watch. And this is going to continue to work its way through the southern Antilles into the Caribbean, and now certain computer models do show this surviving the Caribbean as it works its way towards the Gulf of Mexico in about 10 days. The reason why, big area of high pressure, that's what's sending soon-to-be Hannah in our direction, but it may also pick up Gonzalo in the next week and a half or so and also send it into the Gulf. It's a possibility, something we will continue to monitor. Now, the rain threat is going to be pretty significant. You can see that big ball of moisture associated with TD number 8, but look at the tongue of moisture stretching all the way back down into the northern Caribbean, and that's going to send wave after wave of rain in our direction as we get into the weekend. So something you're going to want to be mindful of. So there's the system there making landfall near Corpus Christi, and you can see all the rain there along the upper Texas coast. So we've got several days, 48 to 72 hours of on and off again heavy rain. And how much are we talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, not out of the question. Heavier out there towards the landfall area. So over the next 7 days, 20% chance of a few scattered thunderstorms for tomorrow, high temperature of 92. Then the rain sets in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday before things get back to normal, getting into Tuesday and Wednesday. Mia?
All right, we got to make it through the rest of this week and the weekend. Blake Matthews, thank you.